Yeah, I was actually coming live with my screen share, I guess. Hi, everybody. Good morning on a Saturday morning. This is the Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties. My name is Roland from R&D Hotline. Have a question? Call the hotline. Or you can call any of the number of the Green Room constituents, and they are, starting with Molly, Youngblood, Geiger. Why don't you come on, Molly, and tell them hi and tell them who you are.
Hi everyone, my name is Molly with Geiger. I am the owner of Design Right for You, which is a digital marketing agency located in Jacksonville, Florida. We also provide several other online services, but excited about today's episode about talking with Vivek about mobile app development and promotion.
Cool. And also, we've already kind of dropped the hint that we wake Bayandur Rao is in our audience. His actual name is Vivekanand Bayandur Rao, or that's pretty close. Of course, I've got a Californian accent, and so it's kind of inevitable that I'm going to mispronounce every name by a little bit. By the way, we actually have a couple of viewers right now. Um, it looks to me like Carlos Savio is out there watching from mobile. Also, Bill Graham is out there. Welcome, Bill. How you doing? And Kathy Pop is in the audience, and so I'm welcoming you folks, and glad that there's not nobody watching this show now that we're live. And we were talking so much in the green room prior to our start that I actually was like, "Oh, wait a minute, we're a couple minutes over the hour. I guess I better hit the start button." And the conversation today, and I'm not sure why there aren't dozens of people watching this because maybe they're disenchanted by the whole mobile movement right now. But whatever the case is, you have to start really examining mobile right now and the wave, as I call it, of what's happening with mobile, and try not to get disgusted by the concept of mobile because it's not just a pitch. It's not just a wave of temporary development. This is the wave of the future. For the next few years, everything is going to be mobile. Now you say, oh, well, only half the search is resulting from phones right now. Well, that's because the millions and billions of other people are just coming on to the smartphone world too. But as it gets bigger, and it can't not get smaller, it's going to get more and more. People are getting better at building the phones. They're better at building the facility. Technology is getting more and more. And what we're discovering in the meantime is not just how to reach the people, but we're discovering how they do their search and what they're thinking and the semantic results of what's going on regarding their search. All these things are coming out as a result of Google information and other research studies that tell us what the people, the clients, the customers, the searchers, those people out there using this technology, we're getting so much information that we're learning how to market to them better. So that's the premise behind hitting the mobile concepts as hard as we do. And today we're going to dig in deep in the concept of why you want a mobile app. Now, I guess I can say this because it's my show, but we preach a couple things pretty religiously. And Molly will note in frustration that I'm not really into AdWords, and so I leave that out a lot. But if you want to know about AdWords, you got to talk to Molly. That's my default move. Because although I know AdWords, I'm no good at it because I don't do it all the time. I do other things that I feel will make an impression, especially for a new business with no budget. We have ways of starting out that will make a difference for you. But AdWords is definitely something you have to consider if you're serious about promoting your business. And it just doesn't happen to be the focus of this show. However, the focus of this show is to do what's simple, easy, as cost effective as possible, and to do it the way it's going to work for you and not the way the millions and billions of the 80% of the marketers out there would just like to sell you the plan because it makes them money, not because it makes you money. So marketing is by default broken, and advertising is out the door. the mode of operation has been broken, and it's obsolete. And now we're in the social media marketing age. And so everything's social media, and I don't care if you think buying ads is not social, but as long as there are people looking at the ads, it's social. Okay? So no matter what it is, everything can be searched on the internet and everyone's talking about it. So we have to treat everything as being social. By the way, hi Lon. Nice to see you. Lon McClure is out in the audience, and thank you very much for showing up. Appreciate you being here. But anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to follow up on what we presented last week. WeWake gave us a great presentation regarding social and, pardon me, mobile apps and the concept of that. And one of the things that we asked last week, and just touched on it somewhat, but we're really going to dig in deep today, and that is, why would you want a mobile app? Now, the answer for most people is, well, because you can make a lot of money at it, because it can build me a lot of traffic, and gee, I can do something that will do this for people, and I can make a lot of money, right? And so everybody goes directly to the shiny object. But what we've found, and what I've found, even web design, everybody wants a website, but when you build a website, who's going to come? Build it and they will come? I think not. Few people will. Your mom and dad, and a few of your friends, and occasionally if you hand out your card, yes, you'll get a few people to come. But the traffic that counts is from people you don't know who arrive at your website, fall in love with your website, and start telling others, so that you don't have to promote your own. Is because people will talk about you, and if you're not worth talking about, you're not going to make it anyway. So there are a lot of things factoring in. But if you're going to be on the market nowadays, the two things that, and some people will argue with me and say, no, I'm doing just fine with my Facebook page or my business page, and good for you. But the theory, if you want to start off with something smart, that's what the Smarty show's all about, is you're going to either do a responsive website or you're going to do a phone app. And we covered all last year, we talked about responsive sites. So right now we're focusing on mobile apps because we're on the edge of that wave. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to WeWake, and he's going to do a little bit. I think that we know him pretty well now, considering we spent an hour getting to know him last week, and we're going to get to know more about him, but we're going to get to know more about why a phone app, why a smartphone app, why an app. So WeWake, I'd like to turn it over to you and let you get started with that.
Namaste. My name is Vivekanand. People call me Vivek. Now let me take me under a minute to tell you about myself. Under a minute. I believe in living a simple life. I believe in thinking differently. I am proud to share my belief with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. Here's my simple way. Avoid the cowboys, work with the Indian. Let the Indian handle technology and you live an integrated, simple life. Maybe you have lots of projects and you are struggling to find someone who can integrate and simplify. You can reach me by using the contact me button on my website and filling the contact form, or through my Google Plus profile. Hope I took under a minute or maybe slightly over, but I'll hand you back over to Roland.
Thank you, because I was going to interrupt you if you didn't. And the reason is that Bill Graham out there is, oh, by the way, Ty Takaoka is out in the audience. Ty is my son, and I'm glad to have him here. And thank you very much for showing up. I'm glad you're here. But anyway, Bill Graham asked a very interesting question, and it really is the starting point of what we should do.
Mm-hmm.
And to define, we defined the basics of the term last week, but we can really dig in further. And part of what we're doing right now and today, when we ask the question why, this whole session today is going to be defining the terminology in and of apps. But basically, let's start by defining the word app, A-P-P. And I'll start it off by saying that it's an abbreviation for the word application. So, but beyond, I mean, everybody should know that now, but there are probably some people that are going to hear that and go, oh, wow, I never thought of that. It was just a phone app. Just a phone app, that's what it was. But it's indeed short for the word application and refers to software designed around whatever the various platforms are. So, Vivek, what are the key elements that you feel are definitive regarding the word app? And Molly, I'd like you to follow up after this and comment yourself.
App, in the PC era, when we used to sit down at a desk and use a computer to do things, we used to call them as software packages. And we used to call them as, I mean, they used to come in various forms, CDs, DVDs. When I started with the floppy disks to install software. But that is long ago anyway. But when it came to more modern devices, which seem to have that's the key word, seem to have much less capability than the desktop computer. In reality, it's not so, but then people started developing things to run on that device, but they did not call it as a software package. They called it as app. I don't know why, but that's what they did. It's an application rather than a software package, because they thought that your mere little phone, poor little phone, how much capacity does it have? In fact, this has more space and more computing power than a lot of desktop computers nowadays. So I hope I have answered that question.
Yes, and Molly, did you want to comment at all regarding the definition of the word app?
Sure. So application is just a short term for app. It's a program that basically runs off of a mobile device versus a computer. And I think as we see the mobile evolution grow, that apps have become more and more important for us to use every day. I mean, I don't know about you guys, I practically work from my smartphone. So I'm constantly using different apps, Google Drive, AdWords app. I mean, I'm actually working from my smartphone. The only thing I don't do from my phone is design websites, and that's just because the software I run requires a desktop or a laptop. So I think that being familiar with apps, what they are, how you can use them, how you can integrate them with your daily lives to make your workflow easier, I think it's important, and I'm excited to learn from Vivek today. I have some information. Think with Google is a great resource for people to learn about mobile apps and how you can use them. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and post over on the event page an article that I found regarding the principles of mobile app design and engaging users and ultimately coming up with conversions. I mean, that's the whole point of the app, is to engage the user to do something. And so when we can engage that user and explain them, hey, this app is going to help you with your work, or this app is going to help you maybe monitor health vitals, or maybe I've even seen apps that actually work for business in terms of tracking mileage and expenses and things of that nature. I use an app for my accounting software they developed, and I'm constantly checking in, going back to working with your smartphone on a regular basis. So I'm going to go ahead and post that article over to the event page. And one thing, and this is one thing I see often, is these app developers, brilliant people, they come up with all these really smart ideas for apps, but they maybe don't know how to promote the app. We all are familiar with the Google Play Store, and that's great starting point to use the Google Play Store, but we can do things as online marketers to actually promote apps, and I know we'll get to that later on in our conversation today.
Yes, and you really want to pay attention. If what Molly said rings any bells at all, you really want to pay attention to what's coming up, because WeWake has prepared a presentation that really deals with some of the fundamental concepts of promotion. And it's the functionality, the platform, and the tools basically that are available to us to introduce you to these things that will get you indeed some exposure. So with that in mind, I wanted to present what Ty said a little while ago. This is kind of funny. I come in as you're saying everything is mobile. You popped up on my mobile phone while I'm at the docks, and boom, I'm watching your show on my phone, on my Note 3. So, it's like you can watch this show from a mobile device. Yes, you can, and which
I was going to say,
legitimizes what I'm doing.
real quickly, I think in terms of mobile usage, I posted a link on our chat within our Hangout. I was wondering if you could pull up that image, because I think if we could present an image to show how much mobile has increased just in the last, oh gosh, 7, 8 years, the fact that, 8, 9 years ago, most people, they had a mobile device, but they're not necessarily working from it. But
Yeah.
mobile engagement and usage has increased to the point where, as of last year, for the very first time in history, mobile search actually exceeded desktop and laptop. And I think that's an important statistic, because that shows that users are engaging more and more with their smartphone, with their mobile device. And so, Roland, I don't know if you could do a screen share of the link. But it was an event recently. Google has the quarterly events called the Google Partners Connect event, and several times they've presented the same image where it showed a picture of a group of people at the Vatican back in 2003, and there were 2, 3, 4 people in there that had their smartphone or device out, and they recently posted a recent picture back in 2015. And it was almost like being at a rock concert. There were so many different people who had mobile apps. It was almost like, a Christmas tree. So with that, I think that's a good visual presentation on how mobile usage has increased over the years, and why it's important as a business owner to make sure and use mobile as a strategy for our business, because if we don't, we're potentially losing out on a whole different section of potential clients and leads.
Okay, I will find that link and I will locate it, and I will share it in a bit. But right now we're going to get started with WeWake and let him go off on the concept of the focus of the reason why. Go ahead, WeWake. I want to turn it over to you for a moment.
Yeah, okay. I have a small presentation to make today. Let me do that by doing a screen share so that you can see it more clearly. Okay. Why mobile apps? So let me share with you what I learned from a short video from Google developers. I shall put the link on the event page after today's SMM Smarties event, and I would encourage you to check that out after this event. But let me share the story this video shows. If you're still wondering why you need to develop a mobile app, this story should answer that. It is a Saturday and most of us want to relax, chill out, eat nice food, and so on. Here's a gentleman who wants to relax, and as he loves Japanese food, he wants to see what he can cook. So he uses his mobile device to check out Japanese recipes. He asks his mobile device for his favorite Japanese food. OK Google on Android, and Siri on Apple devices. I think Windows phones have Cortana. His phone finds his favorite recipe, but he needs to know how to cook it. So he clicks on the link and it opens up his favorite recipe app on his phone. The app helps him cook his favorite recipe. Then he wants to have cheesecake for dessert. He uses his tablet to check for recipes. When he clicks on a link, he is taken once again to his cooking app, showing the recipe then and there. The point is, when he clicks on a link in search results on mobile device, the app not only opens but also directly shows the recipe he was searching for in the browser. Two different software packages, but both are well written, and so they share information to make the life simpler for user. After lunch, he wants to do some light reading. He remembered his friend telling him about a book he had written. So he checks out reviews of that book on his phone and then goes on to digital bookstore, orders the ebook. Again, when he clicks, he is taken directly to the buy this book link on the app from the digital bookstore. He then reads the book on his phone. Since he had a substantial lunch, as you can imagine, he begins to drift off. The book he read talked about Los Angeles. So he begins to wonder about cost of living in LA. He searches for property prices in LA. His search leads him to an app developed by a real estate company. He uses that app and checks out information about several properties. Those numbers you see there on the screen are property prices. He thinks, not bad. He then thinks maybe he could start with a fixer-upper, but he thinks he's not much of a handyman himself. So he looks for a handyman services in LA. That looked for him. The story goes on to say that he then checks out food places available in LA. He seems to be getting serious about moving to LA. You see, as he is doing searches, the search bar is prompting him with suggestions based on his own preferences, and many of them point him to different businesses and mobile phone apps, like the one shown at the bottom of that image with the red Live Nation icon. The key is your app can draw visitors to your website, but don't dump your app viewers onto your website homepage and expect them to search your website. They just won't bother. So let me show just a couple of slides showing a bit of code which makes this happen. The slide you are seeing now is one of them. Your app should take them to the exact page where exact information they are looking for is available without any more clicks. Now, let me be clear here. I'm neither trying to train our viewers into programmers, nor trying to impress you with my expertise. I'm just showing you a couple of slides from the Google video just to illustrate the point. A well-written code can do wonders for your business. In addition to the coding, it's also required to verify your website with the Google Developer Console. The video from Google also gives a link to a hands-on tutorial. Now, let me come back to the question, who benefits from all of this? My story earlier gave example of cooks, book authors, real estate agents, realtors for most Americans, handyman service providers, etc., etc. There's no reason not to include hotel chains, live event organizers, etc. The main point is your customers are likely to jump from one requirement to another. As they do, are you going to be in the picture? Now, as a matter of fact, let me come back into your picture by stopping this screen share. Are you going to pop up and help them buy from you? There is no point in simply pointing people at the homepage of your website and expecting your visitors to search through your website to find what they want. Worse still, if they came to your website wanting to buy a specific product, but you threw hundreds of pages of otherwise useful information, but you throw them in their way, they would just walk away. The second point is, your business cannot be an island in itself. It has to work with lots of others. So, are you doing everything to connect the dots? The third point is, your website developer and your mobile phone app developer have to work together. Now, if you are the one interacting with both, make sure you remain transparent.
But what do you mean by that, Vivek? Should remain transparent.
Yeah, but what I mean is, okay, you are handling website developer on one side and app developer on the other side. You have two different people. Both these people have to interact with one another, and if you are the go-between the two of them, you need to remain transparent in the sense that whatever the one of them tells to be meant for the other one, you have to pass it on, and don't color it with your interpretations or things like that.
So it's got to be a round robin education so that everybody's knowing what everybody's doing, and so you can work together as a team. Because when one of them comes to you and says, I've got the solution for your problem, and it does not include the third party, then you're probably defeating yourself by basically creating a crack in your overall, foundation, and then it doesn't work together and doesn't support the overall project.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'd like to chime in also and say that I think the slideshow presentation that Vivek just presented is an excellent example of what we call the customer journey, meaning there's an actual marketing term called the customer journey, and this journey is what a potential customer goes through. In fact, Google produced a statistic that the average consumer does a search 12 times, and most of the time it's from a mobile device. So I think if we know as a business owner that there's 12 opportunities there that potentially we could lose our client or potential customer, that it's probably a good idea, like Vivek was saying, that they interact with several different other businesses along the way before they make the decision to buy from us. So I think with that being said, it's important as a business to make sure that we reach the mobile audience and we have an app to where they are able to gain information about our business. And I think one of the main concerns that business owners have about mobile apps is they're afraid that there's not going to be a conversion, meaning a sale. from a mobile app experience, and that is absolutely not the case. There is the ability for online purchases to be made through mobile apps, and I think that's another concern. In fact, that was a concern of mine as of about a year ago. I'm like, well, that's great, I have a mobile app, and people are going to my mobile app, but are they buying from my mobile app? And I think that's a really big concern. And as I see consumers growing with mobile engagement, I'm seeing more and more conversions from mobile apps. Another thing to take into consideration, if you do have specific products that you're offering online, is to check out Google Shopping. That's another resource that you can do. But again, great example of the customer journey, Vivek. I really enjoyed that.
I love it. And thank you very much, Vivek, and thank you very much, Molly, for exemplifying the value of what he presented. And the concept of the customer journey is so contiguous and compact nowadays. It is not a matter of you have a product and how do you get people to search for your product. People are going to find your product if it's relevant and if it's in the right places and if you have the opportunity to be found, and if it applies to a concept, people are going to find you. Why? Because they're out living their lives and they have immediate needs. And when their immediate need occurs to them, and it could be from looking at an ad for something not even on their thoughts at the time, but they see, indicative of how the journey of the thought process for the person that Vivek presented. It started out with a recipe for something, and then it went to another recipe, and then it went to this, and then the guy had lunch, and then he listened to a program, then he read a book, and all of a sudden he was thinking about LA, and then he's thinking real estate, then he's thinking a handyman. It goes on and on and on, but that's the stream of consciousness that people live every single day. So not only is technology advanced to the point where people can do this and incorporate their phone, their gadget, their device into the lifestyle of how they live minute by minute and progress through the hours of their day, but they can find anything they want. They can research the relevance and they can buy. So we're connecting the dots from one thing to another. And so that's why when you ask, the phone app is what everybody jumps at. But I return once again to this question that this show is all about. Why? So we're going to ask the question one more time. And I would say the reason that I'm asking it is that I promote the concept to the people that when you develop a website, you don't want to just have a website and an encyclopedia of your business online. You want to pick something regarding what you actually provide as a service or a product to the people and what the value of that thing is. And then when you aim the concept of an app towards that, you want to focus, like micro focus, on what your app does to show off what you do, which is not to tell everybody everything that you do. You have to focus on the one thing, the one solution, the micro conversion that helps people do something that is better and no one else can do it as well. And Vivek found the video, the photo, so I'll share it with you right now. This is a picture of. Go ahead, Molly.
Real quick, you use the key term micro, and there is a term for digital marketers called micro moments, and this is a term that Google has developed in terms of, for example, the slideshow, that people have these micro moments where they make a decision. Oh, well, I want cheesecake for my dessert tonight, so let me go do a search for that, and they decide, oh, I'm going to make cheesecake. Those are called micro moments, and those are decision-making moments that a customer, they go along their customer journey when they start doing a search. And one of the things I would actually add to what everyone's presented today is, in terms of mobile app development, think of a solution or maybe a problem that you could solve for your customers, because a lot of times, most of the time, people are looking for information to solve problems or to help them make a decision. So if your app can lend assistance to potential customers or clients who are maybe doing research for a problem that they may have or a need that they have, then that's going to actually add to the engagement of people going and downloading your app because they're looking for a solution. So I just wanted to quickly add that.
Absolutely. But before we go on, wait. Could you screen share that shot again and show everybody that picture? And I wanted to elaborate on what we're looking at here. So Molly, do you want to comment on it? This is the one you shared.
Yeah, so Vivek, could you actually present that? You have it pulled up, but I need you to present that so everybody can see it.
I have them
Uh,
white boxed.
okay, you have a white box. I'm seeing you, Roland, so I don't know if anybody else out there can see the picture.
Yeah,
But
it's broadcasting.
okay, so what we're looking at here is a picture of the Vatican. You see the top picture in 2005. You see a few little mobile phones out there, but if you zoom down to the bottom picture, this is 3 years ago, so we know that mobile's grown since the last 3 years. But you look at it, it looks, like I said, like a rock concert. It looks like a Christmas tree. There's so many people using, and we're looking at a variety of mobile devices. We see tablets, we see smartphones, we see most of the people who are there in attendance have a mobile device. And so this is a great example of how mobile is increasing and why it's so important for a business to be optimized for mobile in terms of, you know, optimizing their campaign for mobile, making sure that your business is using a mobile app, and tracking conversions from the mobile app. I mean, for me as a business is one of the main points that we want to take away from this hangout today is that we're engaging the user to the point where we're creating a conversion, we're creating a connection, and ultimately trying to make them make the decision to do an online purchase.
Great. Thank you very much, Wake, for showing that too. You can take that off of your screen share. But a couple of the comments in the audience from, first of all, it sounds like I'm playing favorites for my son Ty, and I am. So it's my show. That's the way it goes. Okay, but he makes a very important comment. There's more power in an old Nokia candy bar style phone. Hang on. Oh yeah. And then we used on our first spaceship to go to the moon. Well, imagine what a Galaxy 6 could run. And he repairs AMD processors for a living. The guy's a professional in that. So that's that. And then Bill Graham makes another comment too. It goes, our phones have replaced every piece of electronics we need, from GPS, address books, calendars, scheduling, calculators, and I even have a bubble level for everything in between. There's an app for that. So yeah, your points are well taken, gentlemen, and thank you very much for your comments. And it reinforces the concept that everything's going mobile, and there are more things, more angles, more subjects below the subjects to analyze and talk about before you actually get an app development started. Go ahead, Molly.
Yeah, I was going to respond to Bill's comment. I would say in addition to mobile apps developing our world, moreover, I've actually started using my mobile device for entertainment. There is an app out there called Peel, and it has replaced my TV remote. So I don't even need a TV remote anymore. I can actually change channels, change volume, whatever I want to do for my TV from my mobile phone. And above and beyond that, I actually watch TV via mobile apps. I go to the TBS app. I go to the CBS app. When I have a certain program, I happen to like The Big Bang Theory. It's one of my favorite programs. And if I'm in the mood to watch it, I just open up the app, type in Big Bang Theory. It pops up several different episodes. I click on one, and I watch it from my mobile device. In fact, if you want to get really fancy, you can get a Chromecast and download the Google Cast and throw it up on a TV. In fact, my mom and dad recently purchased a Chromecast. I was explaining to them about how you can basically not even pay for TV service anymore if you go and use mobile apps on your phone. So I think that right there is a game changer, because now we're talking about industry-wide changes, meaning an entire industry. I mean, if you have watched TV for the last 30 years, 30 years ago when you watched TV, that was it. You watched what was programmed on a TV station. That's not the case anymore. Right now, we can actually eliminate our TV service by using mobile apps on our smartphone. So I just wanted to quickly mention that.
Thank you. And your points are well taken. Thank you, gentlemen, for making your comments regarding mobile. And I wanted to take a little sidestep because this just really floored me when I did the research today. I did a search for the terms. Hang on now. I did a search for the terms making a mobile app. And so, like, if people are out there and they think, well, I've got this business, I've got a plumbing service, and I have a really good idea, or I'm a carpenter and I have a really good idea to make an app that will help people find carpenters or determine the amount of lumber that you need to build a room add-on or whatever it is, if you have an idea. And you go, I think I'll research how much it would cost and what's involved for making a mobile app. And if you search those terms, there are 333 million responses and some ads there. The other ads are not even visible because of it's not the right venue to have like a location and stuff. It's an informational search, but there are 333 million responses, and there are 4 paid ads on this page because of that. But below that, you have your traditional 10 search results. And what floored me is that the first result and the second result are not even 2016. We're a quarter of the year into the 2016, and the top 2 results are not from this year. Well, how long before the results are going to be more relevant than 2013? And the first 2 results are from 2013. And the third results from 2014. Gee, we're getting a little better. That's still 2 years old. Numerically, it's 2 years old. And then there's some here without an obvious date. But near the bottom, there's, oh, gee, number 8 is from 2015. Oh, gee, and another 2013. When we get down to the bottom of it, there isn't even a 2016 on the front page, first page results of Google search for making a mobile app. Now, this is the industry. This is the cutting edge industry that's going on right now, and yet people aren't on that page. When they're more, if they're doing this today and they're not on this page, the people who are from the year 2013 or 2014 are selling their information and promoting that as cutting edge, when you and I and everybody here knows that in the last 2 years there have been monumental changes in phone apps. So now take what I just described to you and apply it to your business and think, well, my business hasn't changed, but how I'm advertising, gee, my website is 4 years old, or I developed an app 3 years ago. And you gotta think to yourself, are you doing it right? Did you pick the right concept for the app itself? Gee, I'm not getting any repeat users. Well, you know what that means? It means your app does not have the value that you think it does. And your app is, furthermore, even if you do have an app of value, you're not putting it in the hands of the right people. You're not putting it on the devices of the right people to make use of your app. So not only do you have to have a great concept, we start with that, got to have a great concept, but then you've got to get it in the hands of people. And in the process, you have to decide, what is it going to do for me? Am I going to just focus on the sale, or am I going to build a following of people, and I'm going to get more traffic and more views on my site so that I can sell everything else that I sell? If I solve this problem for people, are they going to be devoted to me in the aftermath to say, wow, I'm going to go call so-and-so because he gave us this app for cheap or free, and it works great. I'm going to ask him for his opinion first before I go anywhere else because this guy's already given something to me of value. So anyone want to jump in and comment on this? I'm going off.
I will. So now we're talking about promoting our mobile apps. So this is more of a marketing side versus a developing side of a mobile app. So when we promote our mobile app, we have to think kind of outside the box because we're not promoting a website, we're promoting an app. This is something totally different. Well, if you're using AdWords, AdWords has actually created a campaign specifically to promote mobile apps. And the reason they did that is because they realized, like I just explained, an app is something totally different from a website. So we have to treat it a little bit differently. So whenever we talk about the app campaigns, your ads will be eligible to appear across Google's properties. This includes Search and Play and Search Partners, the Google Display Network, and many more publishers who host app ads. So what I'm talking about are different places that our universal app campaign will show up. And this is important because a lot of people think, oh, I have an app. I need to post it in the Play Store, which obviously you do, but you need to be made aware as a business owner that there are other sections where your app can be displayed, which is going to serve more people, which is going to mean there's going to be more opportunities for that app to get downloaded. So I just quickly wanted to mention what Ron was talking about earlier about social promotion. Great way to promote your mobile app. Get on, Google Plus. Get on Facebook. Get on LinkedIn. All these different social sites that are out there, and put the link of your app from the Google Play Store. Hey, our business has a new app. Try it out. Something to that effect. And a call to action. And so whenever we take all the different steps that we can utilize to promote our mobile app, that's where we have the opportunity to serve more people so that they can download the mobile app so that they can use it and benefit from it. So I just quickly wanted to chime in about mobile app promotion.
Okay, thank you. And what I'm always focusing on, because I think that that's a great idea with the AdWords thing, but I'm also always alternately concerned with how you can promote an app if you don't have the money for AdWords. And when you promote anything, you're either going to pay by effort or you're going to pay by promotion dollars. You're going to either buy advertising, or you're going to buy someone to help you promote it, or you're going to do it yourself, and one or the other. And if you are not a technician and a strategist when it comes to internet marketing and web design, you're going to pay money to do it. If you can do it yourself, you're going to invest the time to do it. And it's got to end up in a place, in a platform, where people can see your app and find it because they're searching for the need that they're trying to fulfill. So one of the things that we were talking about earlier, WeWake came up with some information that I think is vital, and basically it steers back to Google. So did you want to present that, WeWake, and tell us about what you found?
Yeah, that is actually the video from Google, which I'm going to post in the event page, is actually talking about indexing your app in Google. Now, when you do that, you get your app indexed in Google. You are optimizing for search engine.
So are you all only speaking of Google search?
No, optimizing for search engine, not just Google.
Right, but when you're saying an index, the word index means a lot of things. So we're not talking about a specific repository that is an index for your business and apps. You're just talking about the search in Google, right?
Yeah. The examples that I gave actually are that the person is searching for certain things and he gets shown an app which does that.
Right.
That is because the app itself is indexed, which means that, for example, he is looking for sushi food and so on towards the end of that video. And when he does that, he is shown several sushi restaurants and so on, and then he is also shown an app. Why? And that app takes him to a specific vendor. That app also gives him lots of other things. And that app is on page 1 simply because the app has been designed well. That's one. It has been indexed.
Right. So the point of it all is that if you have an app and not a website, or if you have one or the other or both, each one of those, the app and the website or the web page, is indexable with Google and therefore searchable. Molly, I know you're dying to comment.
I just read an article yesterday about mobile search engine optimization. I posted the link to the event page, but
Okay.
essentially, yes, what Vivek is saying is true, that a mobile app will actually get served as a search result based on the credibility of the app. So for all intents and purposes, if your app has been designed well, you have a lot of downloads, you have a lot of conversions, you have a lot of activity, it's going to get served with search engine results. And I think this is an interesting thing that, we tend to think, when we think about search, we tend to think about my website. But Google looks at more than just your website. It looks at mobile apps, it looks at YouTube videos, it looks at Google Plus posts, it looks at a variety of different content that a business puts online because that helps with their online reputation. And that's what Google bases a business, the credibility of a business is their online reputation. So if you're a business owner and you're already going through all the steps to optimize your online reputation, having an app for your business is a good idea because of the fact that it's kind of the icing on top of the cake that we as a business are doing everything possible to help our users, to help users who are out searching for a solution for our product or our service, that we give them at least the opportunity to use a mobile app.
Great. And you said some stuff here. I'm going to put both of you on the spot momentarily, and we're going to see if we can come up with an exact idea for something. And we'll decide what the subject is, and then we'll brainstorm the concept for what an app might be. I mean, actually, the functionality of what you want to design before the concept of selecting a developer or a programmer or whatever. It's like, what is my app going to do? We'll cover that in a second, but in the discussion that you just gave us, you on the fly mentioned three things. You said Google is going to look at your website, is going to look at your Google Plus posts, and is going to look at your YouTube videos, and those are the things that are most relevant for Google. And you notice that she did not say going to look at your Facebook profiles or Facebook posts or your Facebook page, and there's a good reason for that, which we will cover on another day. But those three things are the internet marketing tripod that I've been talking about for a year and a half now. And so I'm glad to know that I'm on the right track, that if you focus on those threes, you're starting in the right place. And if you focus beyond that, make absolutely sure you know what you're doing, because it very well could be that the best thing you can do is an Instagram campaign. It very well might be that your LinkedIn profile and your LinkedIn campaign will trump everything that we're talking about, but not everybody can go there. And so if you're part of the everybody trying to figure out where to go, is reasonably safe, and I say 80% worth, that you can start with your website and Google Plus, that includes a campaign for Hangouts on Air and incorporating that, and then using YouTube to the max. And that is the internet marketing tripod. So now I'll get off my high horse with the tripod. But what I want to do is redirect it over to the concept of why an app. And really, if you want to know why an app, you have to figure out an app that's going to serve a purpose, and what will that purpose be. So the first thing I would like to do, we've got about 5 minutes left, is pick a subject that we will hypothetically design an app for. So we can say carpet cleaning, or we can say a house cleaner, or real estate, or whatever. What do you guys think might be a really good subject for the development of an app?
I think in terms of real estate that there are several apps out there that are very helpful. Especially if you are looking to relocate, or maybe you're just trying to do some market research on an area of the country. There are mobile apps out there that they serve a lot of information, and I know that that's primarily what we're doing when we're online, when we're going to Google and we're searching for a variety of different subjects. Well, why not give that person the opportunity to search information from a mobile app? Because it's all
Okay.
about delivering information. Yes.
Perfect. Let's go with the micro moment. We're going to go with the microscopic promotion. Let's say I'm a property owner and I want to rent my place for 3/4 of the year and vacation in it the 1/4 of the year. So 3/4 of the year, my vacation property is totally vacant. How am I going to promote renting my property? Let's think of an app that will do that.
Sure. So, I mean, that's absolutely a great idea to promote an app. And in terms of why have a mobile app, well, it's because there's more users on mobile. And that ultimately is why we're creating apps for our businesses, because we want to serve those people on mobile. But going back to your example, we in theory could build an app and base it around vacation. Come up with a real catchy name that's going to be memorable, and then promote the fact that this app is used for vacation homeowners who they're going to reside at their primary residence 3/4 of the year. And it may vary from person to person. They may decide to live in their vacation home 50% of the year and their primary residence the other 50%. But what it does is it creates an opportunity for a person who owns a second home who wants to rent it out to use that application to advertise to people who are looking to find a vacation home. And I'm in Florida, so vacation homes are pretty common where I'm at, and it's actually a great idea because it not only helps the person who's trying to promote, hey, I have a home I need to rent for half a year, 3/4 of the year, it's actually serving and helping customers who maybe they want to come to Florida and they want to rent a vacation home in Florida. And that even goes above and beyond, where do I want to go? Do I want to live near a beach? Or maybe I want to live in Orlando, near some of the attractions. So I think a step above and beyond that is that application could help a person pinpoint, well, what area of Florida do you want to live in, or California, or wherever your vacation home is, and give the person searching for a vacation home rental the options of, well, what do I want out of my vacation home?
Okay, and you have just proved a point to me, which I will summarize in a moment. But Vivek, this has been your show, so I wanted to come back to you and say, did you want to have anything to add to the concept of an app development if you are a property owner wishing to develop rental opportunities for the 3/4 of the year you're not in your rental in your vacation home?
Um, Not, I don't have anything of value to add, so I would just give it back to you. So yes, it is a
Okay.
good idea. Yes, certainly.
I'll quickly add, there was a comment made by Bill in terms of, he has an idea for an app, and I hear this all the time. I'm like, I have an idea for an app, but I'm not exactly sure, where do I begin on developing the app? And I think it goes back to the question, do you want to develop it yourself, or do you want to pay somebody to develop it? There are several app builders out there. I'm not a big fan of them, though, because to me they're kind of limited. I mean, they serve their purpose, kind of like WordPress. It serves its purpose for somebody who's not a developer.
Like
But
Wix websites.
exactly. But it's the
Oh
same
my God.
concept. There are these, I guess, mobile content management systems is what I would refer to them as, where, I mean, it's a solution that if you don't have a big budget to develop an app, or maybe you don't want to be bothered with learning how to develop an app, you do have to have a certain desire if you want to develop a mobile app, because it is technical in nature to go and develop one. But maybe you don't want to invest the time to do that. So to answer Bill's question, I would say if if you're on a limited budget, I would definitely go with a content management system type of platform. There's several of them out there. If you really want it to be polished and shiny and be very functional, then I would invest either the time to learn how to develop the app, or find a qualified partner who's able to develop the app for you. Because remember, that app is just like your website. It tells people about your business. And if you have an app that's clunky, it's not very user-friendly, and it just doesn't deliver a good user experience, that's going to turn that potential customer or client off. And so, and I hear this all the time, people go, God, it costs me so much money. Don't think of it as a cost. Think of it as an investment for your company. Because if you do it, if you think of it as an investment versus a cost, you're going to see better results because of the fact that you took the investment to pay a developer or to learn how to develop the app and make it a very well-functioning, user-friendly app, and then that's going to result in more downloads, more conversions, more users, and that's ultimately what we want to do with mobile apps as a business owner.
Okay, great. Go ahead,
I'm
Wake.
I'm actually just responding to what Bill Graham says in his comment. He says if clicks on and response to an app help it in search, is that maybe why and so on. He says my point is lots of apps have been written and you click on them, you start using them. They also give you links to go back to their website or something like that. But so far the problem has been you would land on their homepage. It goes back to the point which I made. You have tons and tons of information on your website. Yes, but I want to, let's say I want to buy something. I want to buy a holiday in a specific place. I'm referring to what Bill Graham does, I think. So when that's the case, I want to be taken to the holiday that I'm looking for. I don't want to go to your website and then go on searching your website, and then that gets tedious. That's where most of the mobile apps have failed so far. Most of the web apps, they take you to the home page and dump you there. That's it. And then you are supposed to go through the website and then do what you think you want to do, which is never going to happen.
I think that's a good point, Vivek, is we want to deliver a good customer experience, and if we have a clunky app that doesn't deliver content or information that the user wants, you've already lost them as a customer. That's why I'm saying if you're going to have a mobile app, invest the time or the money to have a well-functioning app so that you will find more people downloading the app so they will use the app to find the information that they're looking for about your business or your products or services.
And here's the wrap. We are going overtime again, and I'm going to try desperately not to make it the 20 minutes that we did last week. But here's the concept. We started out with this show focusing on the question, why? Why an app? Why a mobile device application? And here's the concept. It's probably important to compare the why and the why not. And when you come to the conclusions of what you want to do, sometimes an app is not going to be applicable to what you want. And what you should be doing is putting together a website and then finding a location for a website service that's like an index of properties for rent or something like that. If you're wanting to rent your property, you may not be able to make very good use of an app concept, but you want to be available so that you can go with a service or an index or somebody and list it somewhere where they have an app that can allow people on mobile devices to find you if they're searching for you. And that's that one step beyond connectivity. You don't need the app, but you need to be with a service that has an app. Does that make sense? And that's when you want to start off. That's why you want to start off by asking yourself why. Don't just start building a damn app or pay money for it or going to these easy services and say, oh, we can build you an app for this, and then you buy something that's going to be absolutely useless for your end result. So that's why the question of why is important. Sometimes the answer is going to be no, you don't need an app. You just need to be responsive, you need to be available on the internet, and you need to promote the hell out of it. So maybe an app, maybe not, but you got to do the research to find out why. And I think that's the wrap up for the Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties today. Thank you, people in the audience, for making your comments. I really appreciate it. It helped out with the conversation today and brought a lot out of us that we may not have delivered otherwise. So thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, have a good day on a Saturday or whatever day it is where you are. Thanks. We'll see you.